Welcome to the Real Estate Trifecta. My name is Carlos Salinas, Mr. You Don't Need 20%, back at it again for another episode of The Real Deal. This is episode 9, second to the last episode for season 1. We are ending it, and we are ending it with a bang. For the next couple of episodes, we have some amazing guests that are going to be here in studio. The Trifecta looks a little different today.
Yes, it does.
You know, yes, we got my man Evan from RCG Mortgage.
Evan's in the house.
Sitting in for Mr. CFP, Lou Soriano. Unfortunately, Lou got locked up. He's like, nah, I'm just playing. Lou is fine.
Enjoying a little family time.
Lou is tied up. Lou is tied up. We didn't say he got locked up. Lou is tied up. He's not here today. He is out doing what he has to do as far as his business is concerned. Brother, we respect you. We love you. We miss you. And, we look forward to having you for the last episode of the Real Estate Trifecta. Today is a very special episode. Today we have Nelia Escobar in the building for our mental health episode. Licensed social worker coming in to bless us with all her knowledge and what it takes to deal in mental health and, what it takes to move in that realm. But before we get into it, I want to pass the mic to my boy, my brother, the OG, Mr. GQ. I like what color is that, brother? Is that a turquoise? What we got going on today?
A little teal.
A little teal?
Your olive green. The shirt is in the game.
Money green to match my cream. You know what I'm saying?
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money.
Yes, sir.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Yes, sir.
I am Kevin Spann, the insurance guru. Happy to be here once again on the Real Estate Trifecta. So happy about the episode we're shooting today.
That's right.
Mental health awareness.
That's
have
right.
A licensed social worker
That's
in
right.
the building. I think that's top of the mind. So I'm going to cut it short. Kick it to my brother on my left.
There you go.
Mr. Evan. So deaf. You got to see his shoe game. Evan, so deaf. Russell, talk to the people, Ev.
Yeah, if I was flexible enough, I would show that shoe game. But I'm not. Evan Russell here with RCG Mortgage loan officer and certified mortgage planner, customizing mortgage solutions to fit my clients' needs and wants.
Mr. CMP. Mr. CMP.
Certified mortgage planner.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Happy to be here, and I love the content we're about to put out here today because it means a lot to me. Got to be honest with you. Mental health and,
mental health awareness. Absolutely.
Mental health awareness is something that is critical.
Absolutely.
I think you're right. I think it's critical for everyone at all times, but especially this time because of where we're at, because of what we're kind of coming out of.
Yep.
If we're kind of coming out of, I'm not saying anything is over.
Yep.
I avoid words like the new normal.
Yeah.
But what I can say, and I can't wait to discuss, is how many of y'all watching or listening to this feel like yourselves? So that's what I'm curious to talk about. So
100%.
Yeah, I'm really excited about today's episode to be able to pick up things myself and share with you as well.
Absolutely. And before we continue, I just got to say, Ev, having you on the Real Estate Trifecta, bruh, our credit scores just jumped 20%.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to go cop the G-Wagon, boy.
Get it, man. Get it. We'll be dropping knowledge.
Oh, my God.
We get those credit scores up.
Listen,
it was a 500.
Right, exactly. So the great thing about what Evan Russell does as my primary mortgage loan officer, he works for a great company that is RCG Mortgage. Not only are we blessed enough to have them as a sponsor, but they are doing big things in support of the communities and getting deals closed and supporting the agents that are running around in this hustle, because it is a hustle, making sure that they are supported 110%. Ev, we thank you for that. Andrew, we thank you for that. Just wanted to throw that out there. No doubt. I'm a turned I'm gonna turn to Kev. How's business, brother?
Business is good. Business is good. Some for good reasons because your business is good, right?
Yeah, my business is good.
Houses.
Oh yeah, we still
overbidding on houses.
We still
my
turning.
business is tied to yours.
We still turning.
People are buying cars. That's a good thing. That's a good time to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then just trending topics. Life insurance remains important. I saw in Newsday the other day that through this time, life expectancy dropped by 3 years.
Hey, yo.
Which is a huge number, which elevates the importance of people not postponing that conversation about life insurance. So business is good. We're busy. We're navigating people through difficult circumstances. But along that line, people, if you don't know Evan Russell as of yet, please follow him on social media because speaking of helping people navigate difficult circumstances, Ev, you had a couple of great posts this week about some deals that fell apart with other people.
100%.
And fortunately, you and RCG was able to save the day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'll drop the tag. Finance is _real estate.
Absolutely.
You can find me on Instagram and you can find me on Facebook, Evan Russell. Yeah, man, I'm posting as much content as I can, and I'm focused on showing people that they need to call me. I mean, that's really the simplicity of it, right? Unfortunately, there are a lot of pretenders, right? There are a lot of fakers in this industry, and that's the truth. And that's the truth, man. And it is sad because we have people's lives in our hands.
Stop fronting. Stop posing.
You got people.
Oh my God, yo,
and people out there pretending.
Stop it. Stop
you don't
it.
need to put money in your escrow account. No, they're lying to you. Yeah, I can get you a 2.75 interest rate. 3 weeks later, it's 3.5%. You know,
correct.
Yeah, we can get you this loan done. Oh, but you're only employed 1 year, not 2 years. They fake it, they fraud it, and unfortunately, it hurts people. So yes, I work on a lot of what we call save me deals, save me
100%.
loans. And although I hate it in the sense that I feel for the client, I feel for the customer who's going through these struggles, but I love being able to get that deal to the closing because there's no further gratitude than a family that is in a situation like that. And we get them to the finish line, get them in that home.
No, absolutely. You got your hopes up, and then your hopes come falling down. You know, thank God.
So I'm so glad that you opened up with that. It gave me a laugh. We understand across the gamut. Evan is obviously passionate about what he does. This is a competitive field. This is a competitive industry. So when he says the things that he says, trust me, it's coming from a good place. We support everybody. We understand that everybody's in the same fishbowl or in the same pond. You know what I mean? There's always plenty of room for people to eat. But fortunately, some people are better at eating than others. So with that being said, Evan, I can attest that you are, I've worked with a lot of bankers. I've worked with a lot of brokers. When you say save me deals, I think that's an important thing to really discuss. And while we have you here, we really didn't jump into it the first time around, but to dive into the save me deal concept. If a loan officer or a mortgage company, LO or a banker or broker, because they are different. Yep. If they can't get it done, because I remember me personally, I was working with somebody that couldn't get it done. Yep. And I remember the introduction. Yep. I remember the introduction. I spoke about the introduction on when I met Andrew the first time around. And I felt like Frodo Baggins when he gave me gave me a pat. His hand swallowed my hands. I felt very small.
Russells grow large.
Right. Large. And I remember it was that conversations that he basically said, listen, if you're having an issue ever, you call me and I will save the deal. So after some time, me personally, I see the writing on the wall. Why would I work and put myself in positions to fail and not just deal with the people that are saving these deals? I'm going right to the source.
Exactly.
I'm tired of people dropping the ball. You know what? Not that everybody does. I'm not saying that, but the experiences that I have, save me deals came into place. It went from the closing time that we were expected to close, pushed back for maybe a week, another 2 weeks in this industry. That's not a lot of time. So with that extended period of time, how do you get the deal done so quickly and not let it fall through the cracks? Because a Save Me deal is an integral part of this industry. Every broker, every owner, every agent needs to pay attention. If you're about to lose a deal, RCG, call them. Go, yes.
And don't get me wrong. I definitely do want to say there are a ton of true professionals in my industry.
100%.
That I have the utmost respect
100%.
for, and that work just as hard as me, and not only work just as hard as me, have the knowledge that I do, and
right.
take care of their clients just the same.
Are they as fly though? Because you got the blazer with the
and again the shoes, but we'll show it.
What is it? The Romeos? What is the Rio Mars?
Hey. Great shoe line. No, I definitely have a ton of respect, but no, absolutely. I mean, the Save Me deals are super important, and how do we get it to the finish line so quickly? So it's not just me on the team, that's for sure, right?
Yep.
I'm the first line of defense.
Sure.
When I have a conversation with a client, I get to understand, okay, what happened, what went wrong, so that I can then take those pieces of the puzzle and put them together.
Sure.
Based on the complexities of mortgage guidelines and loan programs that are available. And once I structure it properly, I have a team in place that will get it done, and will get it done very quickly.
I've seen that team. That team, Kev. His team is brolic.
They move.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. It's the number one team on the island.
100%.
Number one mortgage broker in Long Island.
That's
number
right.
3 in New York State. Scottsdale
right.
Guide 2020.
That's right. You know what I mean? We don't
Number one, you heard?
Ain't no slouches on this show,
Very
boy.
happy of that.
You heard?
Yeah.
No slouches here. Listen, I promise. I know we're going to be seeing you often. So I definitely want to take time to dive into the intricacies of your field. I know Mr. CFP isn't here at the moment. Mr. CMP is a different field. They do intertwine because finance is everything. I'm going to, me personally, as far as the real estate aspect of this show and this episode, market is good. Starting to slow down. I think the pricing is starting to regulate a little bit. Have you seen any changes, right?
Absolutely.
I could talk to you about that, I think.
I think there's a lot less buyers right now.
Correct.
They're just frustrated. It's been so hard out there, right?
Me personally, the trends that I've seen, the people that were putting all these wild offers and numbers on these houses have found homes. And for the people that haven't and that are still looking are the people that we're focusing on right now. There's plenty of inventory. You still need to be competitive. Make sure that you're lined up with the correct mortgage broker or banker to get you across the finish line, and
real estate agent.
Absolutely,
and insurance agent to close that deal.
Hello, it's a trifecta. It's a team.
That's what they call it, right?
Please feel free.
Trifecta.
Please feel free to reach out to any one of us as professionals. I can promise you that we are top dogs on what we do and the locations that we cover. So. Yeah, good, great. Right now we're going to pause and we're going to go to a commercial break from our sponsors, RCG Mortgage. Andrew, take it away, brother.
Can I borrow extra money to make home improvements? VA borrowers can add up to $6,000 to their loan to make energy-efficient improvements to their home. Known as an energy-efficient mortgage, or EEM, these unique loan products allow homeowners to make select upgrades and repairs to their property in order to maximize energy efficiency. Investing in energy improvements can ultimately lower your heating, cooling, and other related energy costs for years to come. The monthly savings can be funneled into additional payments towards reducing the mortgage principal or to purchase other household necessities. Veterans interested in an energy-efficient mortgage should consult with my team and I to arrange for a home energy audit from a professional firm.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Trifecta. I want to start off by saying thank you to our sponsor at RCG and Guardian Angel, Tim McGarren. If you are in need of a inspector for any real estate inspection properties, give my guy a call. His information is going to be below. Also want to give a shout out to EPM for giving us the platform and the opportunity to host in a space. It's a great studio. If you are ever in need of a platform, a podcast, somewhere to get your message out, definitely give them a call. But right now,
Right now.
Today, right now.
Big things.
Big things. Today is a very strong episode. I've been looking forward to this one right now, or since we've decided to have one of these episodes and trying to normalize the discussion of mental health treatment and mental health awareness. We have Miss Nelia Escobar in the building. Nelia Escobar, how you doing?
One time.
Okay. With the blue blazer. I like that. I like it.
I watch a couple episodes and I see how fly you guys are. I was like, I gotta come correct, you know?
Okay.
Nelia is an LMSW. Really good friend of mine. I've known Nelia for years. We went to college together. Shout out to Omega Phi Beta for all my girls that are watching. Shout out to CW Post, everybody that watches us from college, from school. We appreciate y'all. Nelia, we've discussed this for a while now.
Yeah.
We've had this on the books for a minute. I think this is one of the topics that really doesn't really get discussed often.
Yeah.
I mentioned it to my guys and they were all on board. I said, I got the perfect person for that. Please discuss what is it you actually do, where you started and where you are right now as far as your career, mental health, and your platform at Healing All Year Podcast. You smiling, girl. I see you. You better go ahead. You better go ahead.
I'm going to need a reminder of that intro. Thank you. So I'm a licensed social worker. I work with couples and individuals. I primarily service Black and brown folks because, right, we need the work.
Preach.
And
Preach.
I'm always about giving back in that capacity, right? Being able to support and work with that population. High school social worker. Well, I'm not a middle school social worker.
Okay.
No judgment on there.
No, never. Judgment-free zone. Judgment-free zone.
It's a whole new realm with the babies. But yeah, so that's really where I'm at right now.
So I want to open it up. Can I take the first question?
Sure.
Good. All right, cool. I'm going to take the first question. You mentioned something just now, which was, I thought, very, very powerful in servicing communities of color.
Yes.
Why is it you feel it's taboo for people of color to go down the realm of mental health treatment?
It's not talked about.
Okay.
Growing up, we'd never had a conversation over feelings. It was like push through. We got to get it done. We have work. We have families. There was no space for it.
Okay.
Growing up, I didn't have that. I didn't have that conversation. I wasn't able to process the things that I need to process, and which in turn created trauma and, trying to heal from that even to this day. So it's
100%.
It's important for our communities to get the support. My biggest thing is to breaking that trauma curse, right? I would love to have a generation of kids who don't have the trauma that we had, right? Just be able to normalize their feelings. Just be able to be like, I am not okay today, right? And just being able to say that and bring in their parents and shock their parents to say, wow, you aren't okay today. All right, so let's figure that out together.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's the biggest part of it.
Family needs to have a sympathetic ear, judgment-free, right?
No doubt.
Hard. That's hard.
Across all races and colors. It's not the communities of color
100%.
Specifically. This is a complete across the board. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Kev, you got a question?
Yeah, because she says so much. You said so much.
Kev got his soft voice. I love that.
You said a lot. So you said we don't have the conversation.
Yeah.
In our communities, or probably in all communities, I only know the community I was raised in. When you do express some concerns or your feelings, the answer is generally, you can't talk to mom or dad or aunties, talk to the pastor. But the pastor may not be you. They may not be licensed and trained. So can you talk about that as a coping mechanism and why it's more important to talk to someone independent and maybe not that authority figure?
So I always say you can have Jesus and a therapist. Somebody put that on Instagram. I'm taking that.
We need some Jesus.
We need some Jesus at times, or whatever denomination us out there are practicing, and therapy, right? So the pastors are trained within their theology I think it's
That's
called.
good. That's
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. 100%.
Theology. And yes, those things are important, and yes, you can use that. But there's professionals out there who can push you to. There's even professionals out there who have Christian-based or other religions-based in their practice of therapy. So you can have both with someone who has that.
Sure.
I currently do not, but
okay.
There's people out there who do Christian therapy or other denomination therapy, and it's the trifold.
I love that you say that it's okay to say that I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Facts.
We're all, as men, let's talk about men universally.
Yep.
Sometimes as men, if we express feelings, the connotation is that you're soft.
Yes.
Weak.
As a child, directly have been said to me, if you have to talk about it, it means you can't handle it.
That's a fact.
How do young men deal with that? Because they do carry it into adulthood.
Yes. It's hard. It's hard even for women, right? But definitely with men, right? You, as fathers, as husbands, as men in the community need to normalize it, need to show that this is okay. And just being vulnerable with that conversation, especially with, I know you two are in sports, like being able to say like, hey guys, today I'm having a really tough day. I feel sad today. Normalizing it, have that conversation allows them to have the space like, oh, well, coach said it, right? And just saying it. What's going on?
That word that you said, vulnerable, right? Vulnerability. So I'll tell you, I was raised in a household of all women, no men in the household. And that brought to me an ability to be very vulnerable. And it's something that I'm proud of, right? To speak up when I do have issues.
No doubt.
And that's huge. That's huge. You know, you really need to have that vulnerability. If you don't have that vulnerability, you're not going to be able to express yourself. And that inner child is going to follow you for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And those traumatic experiences are going to continue to follow you. But I'm very blessed the way I was raised. But vulnerability, I mean, that is really it.
That's the
Make
key.
yourself vulnerable. Don't be scared.
Y'all some big dudes over there at the Russell Group. Y'all some really big cats.
I'm not sure about it.
Y'all are some big dudes,
I have
man.
problems just like everybody else. And I will tell you when I do.
Oh, my God.
And vulnerability is hard, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard. It's scary. I struggle with it all the time. My inner child was talking to me yesterday. She was not happy.
You're letting down your defense mechanism, so to speak. That's a big thing, especially for, I'm just gonna say for Black and brown communities, because I know that me personally, the resolution was physical resolution. It wasn't mental resolution. Slap boxing, that was big. You know what I mean? We used to get busy, fights all the time.
Yeah.
It was never, the resolution was never, hey, let's talk about this and kind of learn and heal from this, because as people of color, it would be better if we were to move as a unit as opposed to fighting and dividing each other in these communities. You know what I mean? So what do you tell, your young people? Because, kids still fight. You know what I mean? That's a fact.
Yeah.
Kids still fight. It's not necessary, but, as adults, I think that kind of phases sometimes. I mean, sometimes people deserve it. Yeah.
Get some loud mouths.
Right. Yeah. But not often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what's the method? What's the modality of your presentation and your delivery when speaking to young kids as far as resolution of issues?
So I'm huge on restorative justice.
Nice.
That is huge for me, right?
Okay, I didn't see that coming, girl. Damn.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Yo, Delia came to slay. All right, let's go.
We're having a conversation over conflict, and we get to learn about what our conflict styles are, right? We get to understand. Okay, yeah, this person may have disrespected you. Granted, yes. But what is that bringing up?
Right.
Who else talks to you that way?
Sure.
I had a conversation with one of my clients. I don't know if I can say this, but whatever, I'm gonna say it. And
no
our
names.
No names. Can never say names. Our
self-talk.
self-talk comes from at times who raised us. Right? If your parents are always telling you look, shut up, stay in a child's place.
Yep.
Why are you crying? I'm gonna give you something to cry about, right? Or you have no reason to cry. You hold in all those emotions. So with conflict resolution, it's a lot of, this is why I feel triggered. This is how I hear it. This is how you said it. Some people are more assertive. Some people are more quiet with their conflict style. So it's about dealing with the emotion in that. So we're always talking about that with the kids.
So you mentioned that you do couples therapy, and I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking of the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I can imagine that your services are very helpful in getting people to express how I heard it versus how you heard it, what this triggers in me.
Yes, I'm always checking in with my clients to be like, okay, so what did you hear? And sometimes it's not what the person said, right? And it's important for couples and just people to be able to understand, I get that's how you said it, but that's not how I heard it. Yeah. That's not what came to me, right?
Why did you hear it that way?
Right, why did you hear it that way? Because oftentimes we're relating off of our triggers. We're relating off of what the little, like you said, the inner child is like, oh, no. They're going to leave me or they're going to hurt me. That's what I heard.
Real quick. We had a Father's Day episode, and for me, that was my favorite episode. It was probably one of our most powerful next to this one, only because I personally had the word that I took away the most, the strongest word that you had mentioned just now is trauma. Yeah. I mentioned Nico and Trey, they didn't have that trauma as far as abandonment. Do you think, for me, I had to, I still deal with the fact of, nobody came for me when I needed protection. Nobody was there for me when I needed protection. I had to fend for myself, a la scars on my hands. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things, right? Yeah. So in your profession, when dealing in these, communities, do you feel that's a lot of the stem of the issues that cause some mental health triggers in Black and brown community? Yeah. The absentee of, parents, like not having parents in homes, stuff like that is,
you can also have parents at home and them not be there.
Ah, okay.
Right? Like you can have that family life of mom and dad always there, mom and dad always, sitting with you, but still feeling alone.
Sure.
I think I say this often even to myself. I had to learn this. Our parents only had the tools that they had. Right? We are taught that you're supposed to screw a screwdriver. You're supposed to screw a screw with a screwdriver, right? Yeah. Our parents may have had a fork.
Got it.
A hammer.
Stop.
Got it.
Right? But the visual of it, right?
You want to talk triggers?
They're only allowed. They were only able to do what they could with the tools in their toolbox.
Of course. And
us as kids are like, no, but you should have known. You should have did
this.
You
or not have been lazy.
Or not have been lazy. Or not have, but we never know what their history was because our parents, our parents didn't talk to us about what they went through.
Correct.
Especially families who migrated here, what that entailed, how that experience was.
And at the end of the day, so I'll talk about a personal experience, with my family. At the end of the day, I spent years, I wouldn't say hate, but I had grudges, very poor, bad grudges against, my parents. Yeah. Poor, bad grudges against my parents, right? And I held those grudges for years and years and years until I became an adult.
Yep.
And then I realized what being an adult meant, the responsibilities that came with being an adult meant.
Yep.
And how difficult it might be raising a child with those responsibilities. And I said, holy.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did the best that you could do.
Right.
And I overcame those grudges and everything by realizing that they had that fork. They didn't have the screwdriver to make it work, and I got past it, and that was.
Yeah, and that was a hard thing for me too, just accepting my parents for who they are. Like, what? That was just big.
I had the. Let me take this real quick. Okay, cool. Because I don't want to take away from Kev. Kev got some stuff that he wants to mention too.
Questions he got
but I had the opportunity for a majority of my career when we got out of college in 2008. I was probably one of the only. Not one of the only, but very few at that time. There was no employment anywhere. We were just getting out of the recession. Yeah. Nobody was hiring. Yeah. I was lucky enough to have a job. Luckily, it was for Cornell Medical College, where I worked with licensed clinical social workers. Yeah. It was a dual diagnosis program. So there was a term when they used a lot when it came to harboring feelings. It's called the bottleneck effect. So discuss that when your feelings are all kind of like you're not expressing anything and you just start to get choked up. It's like a bottle at the top of the bottle, you explode. You know what I mean? So can you relate to people harboring issues, or have you been through that where people harbor enough issues and don't express it and are being traumatized even as adults at the current time? Have you seen that lately? Is that something that's normal?
Normal, right? That's a big word.
That's a bad. Yeah. I got you.
It's okay. I would say yes. Oftentimes, like we started with this conversation, that some people do not know what they're feeling.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I, as a therapist, sometimes do not know what I'm feeling. So I always start my sessions with the feelings wheel. My friends hate it because I send it to them too. But I started off because we get to name our feelings. Oftentimes when you speak to somebody, you be like, how are you? I'm fine. I'm good. And we go into session, we go into therapy with that same mindset. And it's like, but you're not fine and you're not good. So what are you feeling, right? And starting to name that to be able to uncover the layers of what that means. You know, so bottleneck is real, which is, you know, I sometimes believe that might be the reason why our crime rate is high.
Especially now with coming out of what we're in and where we're going. Now you just said something that triggered my next question, which is, for me, myself, a man of an advanced age, probably this year.
Man, you better cut it out.
I like that.
You better stop that. You better cut that shit out. Man, stop it.
I would say this year, coming out of what we've all been through collectively, the pandemic, right? I've just started sitting by myself and just saying to myself, Kevin, where are you? How do you feel now? Just to myself in my own head.
No doubt.
Where are you at? How do you feel? Why do you feel that way? What's going on? I've never had this conversation with myself. I've probably busied myself for years to never think about it. But what do you say to people who may have a million things going on in their head, but they've never, not only not answered honestly for you or significant other, but they've never had the conversation with themselves about how do I feel in this moment? Where am I?
Yeah. I coined it during the pandemic, was fake busy. I am the queen of fake busy. Fake busy because we're so busy.
Hashtag fake busy.
We're so busy to avoid our feelings, right?
Yeah.
And it would just be baby steps. We oftentimes want to rush the process, right? We want to get to the end.
Get me
fixed, right? And you know, just disclaimer: therapists are not here to fix anybody, right? We're here in support. We're here to work with you.
Yep.
You got to do the work.
Right.
We're here to just maybe uncover some things for you, maybe bring an eye opener to it or light to it, but this is our work, your work together with us. But I would say just starting off early. What does that look like, right? I often tell my clients after our sessions, you said a lot. Reflect. Maybe jot things down. Maybe take a bubble bath. Maybe stick by yourself. Maybe just sit with your feelings, sit with what's coming up for like 2 minutes, and then go do what you got to do. Because we share and we disclose and we let go or feel like we let go of so much trauma, then we're just like on hyper alert and we don't know what to do with ourselves. So we have to be able to pour back into ourselves.
Absolutely.
Okay. So self-care. Whatever that means is different for everybody. But that's one thing I make sure I tell my clients.
Barbershop.
Like, do what you got to do.
No, barbershop. I like self-care for a lot of like, that's my thing. Like self-care.
That's not self-care.
You know what I mean? That's why, I mean, granted, that has people that know me in college, you know, my hustle, we were talking about it before. Yeah, my
hustle. That's not self-care though.
No, I'm just saying that was work, but I'm just saying for me now, it's like sitting in the seat and, you know, trying to take care of myself. It's a healing process. You know, you get to actually, barbers are the biggest therapists in the world. Yep. You know, if you've never, you know, you should have a connection with your barber. You talk about some stuff. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? I'm pretty sure people go through it. Guys or gals, you know, whatever, you know, go to their barbershops, you know, barbers here, bartenders
Barbershop,
here. Salons.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Bartenders hear it as well, you know. Waiters not so much. You know what I mean? No waiter trying to hit none of them.
I talk to the waiters.
What you want today, Mill?
Talk to everybody. Especially if you need a mortgage.
No question.
I'm always talking about therapy, so yeah.
So I want to shift.
Sure.
In our professions, I'm pretty sure the gamut of stressors are enormous, right? Enormous. We're 1099. Well, I'm a 1099. A majority of us are. We don't have the biweekly paycheck that comes in the mail. We got to fend for ourselves basically. So sometimes agents are living deal to deal, check to check. And, granted, one big one will have you, will set you up for, the next 3 months or whatever the case may be. And you'll be good to pay all your bills, but whatever. But the stressors of what we do, I don't think get discussed enough. And everybody likes to portray like everything is glitz and glam. But nah, it's not. I'm going through something right now. Yeah, man, I'm going through something right now that's actually really stressful. And I'm nervous. I'm scared. And you know what I mean. I'm not embarrassed to say that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I wasn't, then that would be a problem. You know what I mean? So, what would you give? Like, what kind of advice would you give to professionals? You know what I mean? Like, because. Sometimes we don't have people to talk to. And the people that we talk to are just like, well, you're competing against me. Why the hell am I going to tell you about what I'm going through? That can be used as ammunition. Right. Unfortunately. Yeah. There are some of us that are good people, but
that's the field that you're in.
Correct.
Yeah, I would say go get therapy.
All right. Go talk to somebody. Go talk to somebody.
Because if your emotions and the things that you are feeling during this tough time is impacting your life, is it your marriage, your role as a father, your role in your job? These things are impacting you.
Sure.
Talk to a professional, right? Because sometimes we are like, I'm fine. It's not that serious.
I'm good.
It's not that deep. Everybody's alive. Everybody's safe. Nobody's unhealthy.
Right.
Right. And it's just like I can deal. I can handle all this. And it's like, but you don't have to.
But are you, or is everyone not unhealthy, or are we unhealthy to a degree? We talk about, hey, let's pick it up and hit the gym, right?
No doubt.
I'm trying to put on a few pounds. Maybe I'm
that's
not
therapy.
So healthy, right?
Yeah.
That's therapy from a physical
That's
standpoint.
a good point, Ev.
Which is the same concept, I think there are a lot of unhealthy people mentally out there because they aren't seeking guidance from professionals like yourself.
100%.
And I support it wholeheartedly. I think therapy is a luxury that everyone should have the ability to have, because a professional like yourself opens doors and mindsets that we would never think about, and you get those light bulb moments, and it creates that mental health.
And sometimes I have clients that say, like, I can't this week.
Right.
I can't afford it this week, and that breaks my heart. And I want to be able to have the flexibility to be able to provide
a service.
Like, what? You need it. I got
you.
Yeah. But go to the gym, sure. But
health and wellness, no doubt.
And right?
Yeah.
Like, not just one, not just the other.
Yep.
Our mind, body, and soul is all in one.
Sure.
Nice.
We get to take care of it. We get
Sure.
to honor it. And I'm also talking to myself, so but it's just important. I would say, if the final piece on that one, I would say, speak to somebody.
Gotcha.
And there's plenty of opportunities for people who can't afford it.
Right.
There's plenty of programs.
Right.
There's people who do fee for service, which
Sure.
is cheaper.
Yeah.
Is
Insurance.
there anywhere, I don't mean to cut you off, is there anywhere specifically online for individuals who maybe can't afford,
so
they can specifically go to?
So we work with an organization called Open Path.
Okay.
So Open Path.
You'll see Open Path below. You'll see the link to Open Path below. Just click.
Yeah, click it. It allows you to pay for it cheaper. So they have options for couples therapy, and they have options for individual. So you're still able. You still have to pay. It's like a membership, and then you can have access to all the clinicians and things like that. But it's at a lower rate.
Gotcha.
You still have access to it. And also check into your insurances. Some insurances have EAPs, which give you a certain amount of therapy sessions. Some jobs, like you said, the medical, like some of them have like people on call that you can speak to. I tell the kids all the time to text like NYC Well, and there's licensed professionals there that can speak to whenever.
NYC Well is a phone number, or what is that?
It is a program in New York City that allows you to have access to a professional, a mental health professional.
NYCWell.com?
NYC Well. Like, you can text NYC Well to a specific number, which we can link on the bottom.
NYC Well right below.
Absolutely. Text.
We don't see the graphics here, but they're going to be up.
They're going to be there.
Right.
Let's get people the help they need.
Yeah, it's important. And just acknowledging it is the first step, right?
Sure.
Saying, like, I'm not okay.
Gotcha.
So Neil, we opened the show talking about our industries. Carlos goes through real estate. I go through insurance. Ev went through the mortgage industry. Talk about your industry again. Where we are today. Was there an uptick in people looking for help?
Yeah,
especially over the last year, right?
Yeah.
Facts.
After COVID,
cabin fever,
or not after COVID because we're still in COVID.
We're cold, yeah, basically.
It's coming back. It's people. Again, you can't be fake busy. You have nowhere to go. You can't even go to the grocery store, right?
Facts.
You couldn't even go to like Target to like deflect that little bit,
Yeah, right.
Shop or whatever.
And that's bad. Target, people be in Target heavy.
I cannot go to Target. I have to have whatever. We're not talking about. But yes, people realize that one, they hate their partners, and two, they are struggling.
Not wrong.
It's true.
It's true.
Yo, chill. Oh my
biggest struggle
God.
is day one. You
Stop
talk about
it.
fake busy.
Oh my God.
I am married to my wife, and I'm married to my calendar.
There you go.
And when COVID happened, I had my calendar looked like this.
Right.
Nothing going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Kev, you don't have nothing
You
today.
ain't got
nothing this week, nothing next week.
What you gonna do?
You got nothing.
Yeah, what you doing?
You got nothing.
A whole
And
lot
I
of
have
nothing.
Never done nothing. So that was massive for me. Just going through that, having an empty calendar.
Yeah.
Not good. The hardest thing you can ask me to do is to sit in the chair and relax. Right. That's the hardest thing you can ask me is to do nothing.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know, that's like poking me. You know, that's
Right.
crazy.
Gotta be productive.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I mean, we're all professionals. We're all go-getters. You know, you need something to
It's the
strive
hustle.
for
It's
sure.
the hustle, yeah.
The couples thing. You know, like you were saying, right? You're married to your wife, married to your calendar, right? I mean, you had your wife, that's for sure, right? I'll tell you personally. You know, I'm very grateful. Shout out to my lovely fiance.
Shout out to Britt.
Brittany.
Shout out to Denise.
Hey, Brittany.
We got engaged in September during COVID. We're getting married in 2 months. I'm very, very excited about it.
Congratulations.
So yeah, you know my fiance that I'm tremendously grateful for. We got engaged during COVID in September.
Yep.
You know, we started dating end of 2019. COVID hit us immediately, and you know, I'm proud to say that where many couples, and you can attest to this for sure, went separate ways, realized they hated each other. Actually,
Right.
Good.
We were the complete opposite. I mean, I was with
I
her.
don't like you.
They figured it out, right? Like, it's scary.
Why we married? Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I'm proud to say that we grew closer. We grew closer. You know, we realized just how close we are, just how much we have in common, just how much we love each other, and that's why in September came, and we hadn't even been dating for that long. I guess in the grand scheme of, you know, how quickly you get engaged or propose, but I mean, there's no typical. You do you.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, you know what, I love this girl absolutely, and I want to marry her and be with her for the rest of my life, and that's what I did. So, you know, whereas many people struggled, I thankfully was fortunate enough to have the ability to come closer.
And she Puerto Rican.
What?
Which means I better watch what I say.
Ooh.
You got a great one on you. Okay?
No, pretty good people.
But a lot of people, I even struggled with in COVID. You know, in the beginning of COVID, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why am I feeling sad? And, you know, and I had to, I also go to therapy, disclaimer. My therapist was like, yeah, you're dealing with the transition, like the transition of what you're used to. You're mourning it, you're grieving that. And then being able to get through that, being able to come on the other side helped. So I was working out until like August. I was all straight. So it's hard. It was hard.
Ev, I want to ask you a question. You deal, well, the processes of buying a home, right? It starts, people think it starts with me. It should not. Believe it or not, I would say I'm maybe the fourth person. If you're doing it correctly, I'm probably the fourth person down the totem pole. You know what I mean? Finance, banking, insurance, real estate. That's how it should be.
Okay.
Right?
I'll take a seat behind you. No, because you got to find the house you're going to buy.
No, of course. I mean, you need to know what neighborhoods you need to, you know, obviously what you can afford. But I think me personally, that's how I think it should work. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
But it does start with.
It should start with banking, right? So I'm so happy you're here. Do you ever go through, and you obviously hear stories, you dive in. What people don't understand is when you speak to a banker or a mortgage officer, People about to tell you their lives.
Yeah.
People about to dive in on you, brother. And it can get, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure you've heard some stories,
Yes,
people not paying, this is why my credit is like this.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with that as essentially the therapist and trying to get somebody to the next step?
That's a great question, and I mean it's twofold. I'm a mortgage professional. And I need to get you to the finish line. And
no doubt.
And that side, I have to say to clients, bluntly, nobody cares.
Right.
Bluntly, right? We're trying to get you to buy a home and qualify for a mortgage. Nobody cares that this, that, and the other happened. I do. I do personally because I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the truth. I do.
Yeah.
And I feel for clients, and I have conversations. Divorce situations. I mean, those get very tricky. Buyouts with siblings that are fighting. I mean, the list goes on and on. Absolutely. I mean, people who are coming to you because of things like this, they're coming to me to financially, separate and rectify the situation. So yeah. I mean, it's really twofold. I'm a mortgage professional, and I have to tell people bluntly, listen to me. Nobody cares.
Right.
Okay. Right. I do. I truly do.
Okay.
But nobody cares. Let's get you to the finish line. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is what we're focused on, and this is what we need to do. But we got to have those conversations, and I do speak with my clients on a personal level. I don't feel I'm wasting my time.
Right.
Obviously, time is money. It absolutely is. I could be on another call.
No doubt.
But I'm here to help people, not just financially.
No doubt.
I can help someone mentally, emotionally, just by being a sounding board, letting them speak. I'm here.
I think the best emotion, because I've been on calls with you, brother. We've been on calls together. When people find out that they've been qualified for a number, really? Oh my!
Well,
right? You know what I mean? So yeah, you're giving sometimes the news that you deliver,
screaming, crying.
No doubt.
In the office,
We've been on We've been on those calls when Evan has delivered the good news that people have been qualified for a mortgage. Trust me, I've been on these calls where people were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And they've been so happy. You know what I mean? So I think that, I think you play an integral part in the real estate kind of field when it comes to the delivery of news and very starting important. With you. Obviously, I feel forget it. We could go on for days. You know what I mean? Especially in the insurance field, in the insurance industry. What is it like? Have you had those conversations, hard conversations about family protection? Have people broken down to you? Yeah. Where is it that what's the nerve? What is it? Where does it start?
Fear. Okay. Insurance is fear of loss.
Okay.
Of all things, it's the fear of, so you bust your butt to be able to buy a house.
Yep.
But I have to have a conversation with you about coverage and price to prevent that fear of loss. Fear of loss because this probably your largest asset. You can lose it if it's not insured properly.
Okay.
So that's always a conversation because the backstory that they told Evan, the story they told you about getting the house.
Sure.
The last thing in the world you want to do is to lose this house. But it happens every day because people are not properly protected, properly insured. They don't have a professional advisor that's walking them down the street. They're just having the mandatory conversation of, I'm getting insurance only because I have to.
Right.
Well, insurance is mandatory by the state and by the bank because things go wrong with these $500,000 and $1 million houses.
Right.
And the bank, they want to cover their bet, and the state doesn't want you to come back with your problems because, as Evan said, nobody cares. But I do. I do.
To piggyback on that, right? You've probably dealt with a lot of grief, right?
Yes.
And it's tough. Having to deliver these checks, you can't supplement feelings because one thing that Nelia, had mentioned before we started filming, she had said it and it was with emphasis, but it was kind of like in casual convo. Feelings matter.
Yes.
Feelings matter, right?
Yes.
They matter. And you talk about grief. On more than one occasion, I've put a life insurance check in the hand of a widow.
Right.
Last year, I put a check right before COVID in the hand of a widow who didn't make me aware that her husband passed until a year later. Wow. She was aware he had the insurance,
sure,
but she didn't want to deal with the finality of it. She knew once she filed this claim and got the check, she was accepting that he was actually gone, and she was there with her granddaughter. And we had a conversation about, she's talking about the sacrifice of them making this premium payment every month when it was hard.
Sure.
But I said, you know what? You're here with your granddaughter today, and I get to participate in the part where he says he loves you,
right?
And he wants you to use this money to do some things that he's not here for physically.
100%.
And he can still play the role of the provider by providing this money. You know, for all the times you said, let's do something different with the money. He went ahead and paid it, and this is a way of showing love. And I get the feeling of delivering that check.
That's the delivery. Like
you
said before,
right.
Yeah.
I remember the sister we had on the show, Alyssa Costanza from She Got Credit. She had mentioned there was a girl that we had here. Her father had passed, but her pops was responsible, and somebody had to deliver her the check because her dad had health insurance. Shout out to her. We got a lot of big things coming with her. I can't wait to collaborate and. Again, our condolences from the show. From the real estate side of it, I've been in personal situations, not personal, obviously it's business, but still, I've been kind of in situations in dealing with, short sales and foreclosures. You know what I mean? Like, that's tough.
People
Listen,
are hard times.
Oh my God.
Times.
Trying to walk in and, it is the most awkward feeling in the world. Like, hey, listen. I'm not trying to put you out. That's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm either here to try to salvage this or, I'm here with the bank because y'all are obviously behind. So the repossession part of it is never easy. Dealing with that kind of trauma and somebody that's about to lose their home because they've fallen on hard times and couldn't pay.
Yeah.
So, I can say personally, it's never been an experience that is easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like dealing with loss. It's almost like dealing with loss. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Your life is about to be changed upside down. The place that I've grown up in, I'm not going to have anymore. My neighbors are not about to be my neighbors no more. Yep. So a whole culture, a whole family, especially in the communities of color where now it's not easy to turn around. Our credit's been mangled. Yep. We can't get it. We can't even get a rental, because we have the credit is obviously not established anymore. In certain situations, the providers are not employed. So that kind of situation I can tell you from experience, I've seen it. It's not easy. I'm actually going through it right now. A home has been sold that's occupied with tenants, and the tenants came up to me and said, "Hey, can you find us a place to rent?" And I looked at them like, "Damn." Yeah. You know what I mean? I wasn't ready for that.
And add to the stress is just the cost of living in our area.
Oh,
you can be losing a house where you're paying X amount for the mortgage, and now you're looking to rent something that's much higher. You're like,
absolutely. There are mortgage solutions available.
Ooh, go ahead, Evan. Talk that. That's why you here, boy. Talk that.
There certainly are mortgage solutions available. People are fearful to speak with a mortgage professional. Why are they fearful? Well, this kind of plays into what you do for work. They're fearful of rejection. Right? They don't want to be rejected. They think they will be rejected, but they very well may not be rejected.
Yes.
Right? So there are options, right?
Evan. That's what I'm talking about, boy.
Retirees, as I use that terminology, the elderly population. There is a reverse mortgage program, which there are a lot of myths about, but it's a program that can help an elderly individual stay in their home and live in that home the rest of their life and not have it taken away from them. Yeah. Younger individuals, right, with lower credit, like you just mentioned, Carlos, right?
Loans.
I mean, things in the credit in the 500s, we can work with that.
Yeah, 580.
I'm not saying with everybody. I'm not saying we can always get it done, but I'm saying there may be an option. So before you go through that trauma, right, speak with a mortgage professional who might be able to help you out and get you out of the situation that you're in. Yeah. Don't be fearful of it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. Fear is it's a common thing in our communities, right? Because we always feel that we don't qualify.
Yeah, we're not enough.
Right. Ooh. We don't qualify for certain programs. Mm-hmm. Evan, how many times, bro, have we been on these phone calls where people have not known that they qualify? Yeah. My name is Mr. You don't need 20% for a reason. Yeah. I want to push this narrative because people need to understand you don't need 20% to put down on a home. Ev, how many times have we been on these calls, bro?
All the time.
All the time, right?
every week, every day. I mean, you know, and I will say that I do see, you know, I do see there is a cultural thing. I do see a demographic that feels a little bit more frightened of contacting me. Right. And of feeling like they may not be qualified or
man, because you know, people, you know, you usually putting us out, bro. I don't know. I mean that with love. Evidence, my man.
And then there is a demographic that quite often feels very entitled. And this isn't everyone in these demographics. Yeah. This isn't everyone in these demographics.
Nah, if you wouldn't stay played, bro, you with us.
But I'm just saying, you know, I do see in the 11 years I've been doing this, I do notice a pattern and a trend in that. And it's sad. You know, it's truly sad.
But it's learning about financial literacy.
100%. Oh, we go through that, girl. That's a trigger word on this show.
Like, we're not taught that. So
that's
how can we know?
That's a trigger word on this show. Absolutely.
How can we know what we don't know?
100%.
Right? Back to the tools in our toolbox.
Our whole intent of this podcast is to take this information.
Oh my God.
And have it discussed with them.
That's a trigger word on the podcast.
I've learned this, Mr. You don't need 20%. I learned this on here.
That's it.
So now I know.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about,
Working
Nelia.
towards my 10% because that's what I need.
Yo, you're so funny.
10%?
Condo.
This is just me.
I'm talking about 3 or 5%.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
We'll talk offline.
That's what I'm talking
Mr.
about.
Save the deal.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. We're going to have a cake behind Evan. We're going to have a closer like Kevin, but I got you.
Bringing them in.
Oh my God.
Don't be scared. Do not be scared, people. Do not be scared. Everyone out there.
I want to, before we wrap this up, because this is all great stuff, you know what I mean? We're going to move to actually a special, integral part of, we're going to freestyle today on the Real Estate Trifecta. We have another guest that's kind of impromptu, and you're going to see as we transition into that conversation, it's going to be quick, I promise. But before we wrap up the mental health part of this, right? There was a shift in treatment when it comes to therapy as far as in-person therapy, right? Usually, the way that I remember it, in the time that I was with Cornell Medical College, that you couldn't do a phone.
Nope.
You couldn't do a phone therapy session.
Nope.
You couldn't
bill.
You couldn't bill, right?
Couldn't bill.
Exactly. Wasn't no IDX, wasn't no Epic, none of that, right? So you couldn't bill for a phone session and actually complete it as an in-person session. With that, the therapy that is Zoom therapy, you know, computer, like, you know, on your computer, telecommunication. Telehealth.
I like that.
What's up? It's a big transition now. Are you still telehealth?
I'm still remote.
Big time? Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
All right, so my first question is, you're still remote. Great. So we know that went into that, and that's the norm now, right? Okay, great. That's one. Two, do you see this being an industry standard moving forward? Because now Zoom calls in real estate are extremely important in insurance and in banking. Do you see that is it going to be the norm for therapy moving forward?
I think it's going to be an option.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be an option.
Okay, options
I think
are
it's
good.
going to be an option. Before COVID, before all this stuff happened, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be on a beach in Italy and be able to see my clients. This is
now that's therapy.
This is right. This is
therapy for who?
Therapy for all of us.
Talking to somebody in Capri. Hey yo.
I haven't seen my clients in person.
Wow.
I was even doing, therapy with or counseling in school.
Sure.
Which was harder because with the kids, like the adults, like we kind of understand where we're at. We understand like this is the norm. This is what we got to do. This is where we're at. With the students, it was a little bit, it was harder for them to like be on Zoom. Zoom fatigue is real.
Zoom fatigue is
real.
Wow.
Right? It's a real thing. Being on camera,
man,
is different than being off camera and on Zoom.
Yo.
But yes, I do think it's going to be an option. If certain providers don't, it's for their own beliefs on it. But I think it should be. Okay. I am ready to be in person with some clients. I think that connection is needed.
Sure.
You can still build the connection over Zoom, of course.
Of course.
But it's different. It's different energies, different feel. So I am excited to go back into the
of course, for somebody in your profession.
Yeah. But I'm still good with being home and seeing my clients.
Some people, I don't know if you have a question, but some people, all right, cool. So some people might like the comfortability of a safe place and being home. Because remember, right, the flexibility. I remember people walking into the office is so uncomfortable, having to sit down in a chair. Tell me how you feel. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like, bro, you tell me how you feel. I'm defensive like a motherfucker. You're asking me that for, bro. How you feel? You know what I mean? So that's just, I mean, that's me. You know what I mean? So with that, where can people find you? I know you have a podcast.
Hello. We haven't talked about podcast. Okay,
Let's go.
Podcast.
Do it. Let's go.
Season 2.
Yes,
it's called Healing All Year.
Yep.
Basically, it's for
Is it Healing All Year podcast or it's Healing All Year?
It's Healing All Year.
Gotcha.
The Instagram is Healing All Year podcast.
Hello.
But it's on all platforms, Healing All Year.
At Healing All Year podcast on the gram.
Yes.
Check my girl out.
Link below, right?
Yes, sir.
So basically, the purpose of the podcast is to be able to have like these tough conversations and for everyone out there to know that you can take ownership of your healing at any given time of the year. You can pick it up because you're feeling overwhelmed, or you can drop it off because you're feeling better, and then you pick it up again, right? Having that flexibility of healing any time of the year is important, and that's what the podcast is about. We're working on season 2. I've seen some stuff on you have conversations with this sister. I don't know her name, where they were really good. I tried. What was her name? Katie. Her podcast is called Vulnerable City. What was that? A Vulnerable City. Vulnerable City? Yes. Actually, we're going to be, I don't know when this is going to air, but we're going to. It's going to air next Thursday. Great, because we're going to be live Thursday. Okay. So, you can check us in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be live on Thursday. Right. Yeah. You can catch, all the links, everything is going to be, it's going to be up on the graphics. That's fine. But, so the podcast started, I went to South Africa with a couple of my friends for school, and we just kept talking about healing, and we all went to South Africa for different purposes. A lot of it was ancestrally, to be able to like heal from that conversation, and it just started, and we're in Cape Town having our last dinner, and one of my friends, she was like, you should talk about this out loud, like to people. And I was like, no, nobody wants to hear me, like nobody wants to hear what I have to say, like at all. Nobody wants to hear. She's like, no. I have checked in for real. You've had some had some good ones, girl. I was ready to jump in. I tried to represent for the brothers. Like, yo, you ain't gonna talk us like that. Oh, right. But that's how it started, and it was just this need that I understand that people need to hear themselves, right? We need to be able to, we get to figure it out and heal and all this good stuff. So Healing All Year podcast is on the link below. Check it out. Yes. Okay. Well, listen, I'm pretty sure we could go on for days. For hours. I always say that. I swear to God, I always say that. Yeah. I always mention it, and we could, there's obviously there's a time limit, but we don't want to. Of course. Thank you. Of course. Thank you. I appreciate you, sis. Yes. No one has ever gotten an applause on the show. Ooh. Mike is dropping things. He is drop happy. The mic, Mike. Mike is dropping the mic.
Serious stuff happened today.
For real, man. Yes, I think we tapped in. I think, the topic of conversation and making it a norm. Yeah. Evan is a bigger burly man than me and Kev, but whatever. We do. Guys don't really discuss their feelings. Yeah. Making that the norm, mental health discussions, and making mental health discussions the norm. Yes, 100%. Appreciate you coming in, my sister. I love you to death. You look the same. You haven't changed since college. Jesus. Don't crack. Brown no brown, black no brown. You know how that go. Check out my girl Nelia Escobar. Her information is going to be below. I am Nelia Escobar on the gram. Healing All Year podcast on the gram. Link me, find me, follow me. Yeah. And if somebody wanted to, could they set up a telehealth session? Yeah, we can definitely do that. Yeah. I will send you the link to be posted. Let's go. Like, where we can go and where they can reach out. Yeah. Appreciate you. Awesome knowledge, great information. Yeah, at the Real Estate Trifecta on the gram. At the Real Estate Trifecta on YouTube, at the Real Estate Trifecta, gmail.com. Send us whatever you got. Questions, answers, all that good stuff. Evan Russell, my guy.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Had a great one. Natural, bro. Yeah. Easy. Bro, shining.
It's easy with people like you,
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much.
Very welcoming.
I appreciate the boost and credit too, man. You got me, man.
Experian just
went. That's right. My phone is going off.
I got an alert too.
Lydia too. Yeah. Credit Karma sending us alerts right now, brother. We love you. Listen, we're signing out on this one. Stay tuned. Right after this episode, we're going to jump into something special. We appreciate you. Love you. Peace and love. And we out.